We've got a really fascinating scenario for you today in this explainer. One that literally pits cutting-edge tech against some of the most unforgiving geography on the planet. We're looking at a pure man versus nature conflict, the incredible and frankly daunting challenge of building a modern telecommunications network in some of the world's most inaccessible terrain.
So just think about this for a second. How do you build a cell network without roads? I mean, when we think of expanding mobile coverage, we usually picture, trucks rolling down highways, cranes effortlessly lifting antennas, easy plug-and-play access to the power grid. But what happens when you strip all of that away? Today, we're exploring the immense geographical conflict of Arunachal Pradesh's mountainous terrain and how an unprecedented partnership managed to string a digital lifeline right out to the absolute edge of the map.
Okay, let's dive into the breakdown. First, we'll look at the Frontier Challenge itself, then the military partnership that made it happen, how they went about conquering the terrain, the impact of Phase 1, and finally, the next chapter.
Starting off with Part 1, the Frontier Connectivity Challenge in Arunachal Pradesh.
Historically, this region was defined by sheer isolation. For decades, we're talking zero connectivity, none. The geographical and infrastructure constraints were just way too severe. You've got massive mountains, wildly unpredictable weather, and a total lack of foundational infrastructure. These locations were practically cut off from the modern world. But the new reality? Seamless voice and data connectivity. Going from absolute zero to a fully functional network in this kind of extreme environment is a massive leap. It's literally an engineering marvel.
Moving right along to Section 2, an unprecedented military partnership between Bharti Airtel and the 4 corps of the Indian Army headquartered at Tezpur. Here's the thing. Airtel is the first and only service provider to deliver reliable mobile connectivity in this specific high-altitude region. They aren't just expanding a network, they are pioneering a path where literally no other telecom company has gone before. It's a massive milestone, and it fundamentally changes how things operate in the area.
All right, Section 3, Conquering the Mountain Terrain. Let's get into the actual logistics and execution.
Now, you can't exactly just send a lone technician in a bucket truck up a remote Himalayan peak and wish him luck, right? This was a highly choreographed 3-step operation. Step 1, the Army stepped in with extensive logistical support, providing the necessary fiber and power infrastructure. Step 2 is where it gets truly wild. In several spots where road access was completely non-existent, the Indian Army literally had to physically haul Airtel's technical teams and heavy telecommunications gear deep into the mountains. Finally, Step 3, Airtel's engineers braved those extreme conditions to actually activate the secure network. Balaji R., Airtel's CEO for the Northeast and Assam, summed it up perfectly. He pointed out that this deployment required extensive coordination just to overcome the immense terrain and weather-related challenges. These teams were operating under incredibly demanding high-altitude conditions, literally fighting the elements to ensure timely activation. This wasn't just a technical challenge, it was a physical gauntlet for everyone involved.
Okay, Section 4, the impact of Phase 1. Mission accomplished.
The magic number here is 30. Phase 1 successfully deployed network infrastructure across 30 separate Army stations in this incredibly challenging terrain. That is 30 distinct, isolated sites where teams had to manually haul gear, secure power grids, and light up the network. That's a huge undertaking. But, beyond the technical specs and the hardcore military logistics, the real impact here is deeply human. This deployment enables both military and civil personnel residing in these super remote, high-stress locations to seamlessly connect with their families. Imagine being stationed in an inaccessible mountain pass for months on end and finally being able to video call your family back home with zero lag. That is the true power of bridging the digital divide.
Which brings us to Section 5, the next chapter, Expanding the Grid.
The impact of Phase 1 was so profound that the Indian Army and Airtel basically didn't miss a beat. They've already agreed to Phase 2, which targets 15 additional locations in Arunachal Pradesh. They're taking the hard-earned lessons from those first 30 stations and pushing even further into the absolute edge of the frontier.
Let's zoom out for Section 6, the powerhouse behind the project, Bharti Airtel's global reach. To really understand the sheer scale of the company pulling this off, you just need to look at one number: 600 million. That's how many customers Airtel serves globally. They are a massive communications provider operating across 15 countries in India and Africa. Ranking in the top 3 mobile operators globally, their overarching network covers over 2 billion people worldwide. To put that into perspective, that is a full quarter of the planet's population.
And they aren't just putting up basic cell towers either. We're talking high-speed 4G, 5G, and Wi-Fi, secure cloud and data centers, cybersecurity, and IoT solutions. They've got a digital arm called Xtelify, focused on AI and data, and they even manage massive passive infrastructure through Indus Tower Limited. It's an absolute technological powerhouse driving India's digital evolution, bringing world-class tech to the world's most difficult locations.
So, the ultimate takeaway from all of this? It's a massive proof of concept. With the right partnerships, like the unparalleled logistical support of the Indian Army, we can bridge the digital divide and power digital transformation literally anywhere on Earth. It proves that the benefits of the modern digital age don't just belong to the cities. They can reach absolutely anyone, no matter how remote. So I want to leave you with a final thought for this explainer. What does it actually take to finally bridge the digital divide in the world's most inaccessible places? As we've seen today, it takes a whole lot more than just technology. It takes raw human endurance, groundbreaking partnerships between civilian tech giants and military forces, and a flat-out refusal to let geography dictate who gets to stay connected to the ones they love. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope this incredible story of extreme engineering sparked your curiosity to learn a bit more about the invisible networks connecting our world.